actually recording this time. The
Excellent.
counter is running.
It's not blinking.
Nope.
We don't have issues here.
Yes.
You know why it's working out perfectly?
Because we don't have a guest.
Because we don't have a guest. Yeah.
All right. Ready when you are.
Welcome to episode 38 of Auto Off Topic. I am Brad.
And I'm your other host, Andrew.
Welcome to your own home, Andrew.
Yes. We are back.
We haven't been gone.
No, we haven't. Well, we did.
We went away.
Yeah. We were at the Subaru Mount Washington Climb to the Clouds event over the weekend.
The official name is Subaru Climb to the Clouds at Mount Washington.
Okay.
You know, if we must be pedantic about it.
I was close enough, I think.
Yeah, more than
You
likely.
got to get the title sponsor in there, that Subaru Climb to the Clouds.
Subaru Climb to the Clouds
Yes.
at the Mount Washington Auto Roads 2017.
That's right.
It seems like they're going on a 3-year cycle now.
They
Because
are.
they announced the next one's going to be in 2020.
Yep.
So if you're looking to build a hill climb car,
Yeah.
you have a little under 3 years.
Yep.
Get building. Talking to us. I don't know if we'll do that hill climb, but
No, but I think the talent needs to do some hill climbs.
hey, you can do some stuff with Sports Car Club in New Hampshire or the Vermont Hill Climb Association
Yeah.
and run some of the local stuff. That would be cool. And I talked to Jordan about using the Starion for a while too, but who knows? We'll get. By the time we get around to that, we'll have something else.
It's
I'm sure.
probably easier just to use my talent because it's basically there.
Yes. Yeah, it doesn't need to be put back together.
Should grab some water, but we'll use this beer instead.
Yeah, well, it's deliciously good beer, and we'll have to deal with it, and the audience will have to deal with our excessive consumption this evening.
That's all right. Anyway, so Climb to the Clouds. If you've been around the internet this week, you probably know that Travis Pastrana broke the hill climb record again.
Yes, it's his turn again this time.
Yes. Well, he set the unofficial one in early 2011. It was like a Red Bull promotional stunt. And then the official hill climb came in 2011. Maybe it was the year before.
I think it was 2010.
That he did that he did the unofficial, stunt. But well, it was an official stunt, but it was an unofficial time.
Right. The road was closed for him. And
Yes. So anyway, that brought it to just above 6 minutes by David Higgins. It was like 6:04 something. I should have looked it up.
Right.
And that was in a open class rally car.
Like straight from, at the time, not Rally America, but probably...
It was Rally America.
Sorry, not ARA, but Rally America.
Yeah, it was Rally America. So now, for this year, they pulled out all the stops and they added an unlimited class.
Correct.
And this is what we talked about with Alex Grabau with the Pleasure Evo. He was running in the unlimited class.
Yeah, which is a class that the top two vehicles of the weekend over, not finishing because of something we'll talk about later, but the two cars everybody was, aiming for were factory-built Subarus.
Yes. Well, they're built by Vermont Sports Car.
Oh, factory-backed Subarus.
Yeah, they're the Vermont Sports Car is the builder of all the Subaru rally cars. They're up in Colchester, Vermont, and so basically they took one of their GRC engines from the GRC Subarus,
Which are like 600 horsepower.
yes, as opposed to like a roughly 300 horsepower with the restrictor for a normal rally car. So they swapped in the GRC engine, apparently into the rally car chassis with some other tweaks.
Yeah, they've made them a lot lighter, too.
Yeah, they removed all the extra equipment you need for rally.
Co-driver's seat, lights.
Yeah, they had to sit on a milk crate. No,
Yeah,
there's
no co-drivers.
There's no co-drivers in unlimited class. So, the thinner skid plates, I think they're just using like carbon Kevlar instead of any heavy duty aluminum because it's actually a pretty smooth surface.
Yep, a lot of it's paved, actually.
Yeah, so you don't really need heavy duty skid plates like you would in a rally. The headlights were decals.
A la NASCAR.
Yeah, like a NASCAR.
That disturbs me a little bit because it kind of takes it one level away from a street car turned race car.
Yeah, well, they're already.
But the GRC cars are like that too. So.
I mean, the rumor on the street from talking to other people, those two cars are well into the millions of development.
Oh, I can't imagine they would be. Yeah,
because they are basically the only two in the world. They don't run that style car
It's
anywhere
not legal
else.
for anything else.
No, it's not it's not an FIA car. So
Now, this is the Subaru Climb to the Clouds event. Subaru made their own rules to allow them to build the car that they wanted to build.
Yeah. So it was like 500 pounds lighter, 600 horsepower. They were going for the all-out.
So it was 500 pounds lighter and double the horsepower of the previous record-holding car.
Yes.
That kind of gives you an idea of what it takes to break a record or to make a record fall, because when you think double the horsepower and less weight, and they beat the record by what seems unremarkable when you think about it, when you hear it, I should say, at first, that they beat the record by 20 seconds.
Yeah.
They didn't, double the horsepower, less weight, it should be half the time. But obviously, that's, physics doesn't allow that, because double the horsepower, and what was the record this year?
It was 5 minutes, 44 seconds, and 72.
So from 6:04 to 5:44. So, like I said, about 20 seconds.
Yeah, over an 8-mile course.
Yeah, which 20 seconds is nothing to sneeze at. I'm not saying it's not a huge jump, because it is a huge jump. But it's just to think about the fact that they literally doubled the horsepower of the cars. It's not all about ultimate all-out power. It's about a lot of other things.
From the summit to the base is an elevation gain of like 4,000 feet.
Yes. Which you noticed watching the slower carbureted cars.
Yeah.
At the top, they weren't going very quick.
You're at the base. You're already at like 2,000 feet above sea level as you're into Pinkham Notch, where Mount Washington Auto Road is.
Yeah, it's in the White Mountains range of New Hampshire.
Oh yeah. So if you haven't heard of Mount Washington, it's in New Hampshire.
It's the tallest mountain east of the Mississippi, right?
No, in the northeast.
The northeast? Okay.
Yes.
So probably east of the Mississippi, I assume?
No, there's some taller ones down south, I guess.
Oh, okay.
But for here, it's the tallest around.
Okay.
At like 6,000 something feet. So you're at about 4,000-ish feet on the road. You're now getting above tree line.
In the clouds, yeah.
Yeah, because the winds are so high, the trees can't grow. So there's no trees. So it's kind of eerie. So there's a ton of, I shared already some in-cars from Alex in the Pleasure Evo, and then his buddy Bill in the 240RS Maxi, which that's a pretty crazy video.
Yeah, that car's insane.
Yeah. So, and you can see how it starts out in like forest, and then suddenly climbs up. The trees start to shrink and shrink and shrink, and then disappear.
Yep.
And it's just wide open. And actually, the weather was unbelievably clear,
which is rare for Mount
It's
Washington.
incredibly rare.
Yeah.
They literally have the worst weather in the world.
Oh, in the...
No, it's in the world.
Is it really?
It's considered to be the highest.
The highest recorded wind speed by man was up there, I guess.
Yeah, it was
231 miles an hour.
I think it was 286 or something.
I don't know. It was a lot. A lot more than I wanted to experience.
Yeah.
The old buildings on the top of the mountain
They're
are
chains.
strapped down with chains. So, it gets windy.
Well, where you were spectating, the porta potties were strapped down with ratchet
they
straps
were. Yep.
and cinder blocks, right?
Yeah, which is not exactly comforting. The winds on the day, because we were spectating from... Well, you weren't with me. I was with two other friends.
Yeah, you were well above tree line.
We were way above tree line, yeah. We were past the dirt section into the new tarmac section.
So you're above what they call the cow pasture, which is this open area that
Past the
literally
cow
looks
pasture,
like a cow pasture.
Yeah, but they couldn't be any cows up there because
No.
they would just fall over.
Yeah.
It was a 40 to 50 mile an hour steady wind on the side of the mountain all day long.
Yeah.
With gusts in the mid 80s.
Yes.
So it was 45 degrees.
Yeah.
So it was
Bright and sunny.
Oh, yeah. So when you say it was an unbelievably nice day, it still sucked balls standing outside all day.
Yeah. See, 2014, it was clear like that, and it was not windy, so it was actually like 70 on the up there.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That would have been nice.
It was hot. Yeah. But
Yeah, no, by the end of the day, I couldn't feel my hands, and all of my joints were sore. Like, I couldn't move my wrists, my knees hurt, I couldn't walk downhill. Like, it was getting pretty bad.
see, I was down a little further at what they call the Cragway turn, which is that dirt turn that you'll see a lot of pictures from.
Yeah, it's like a big dirt sweeper.
And that's probably 1,500 to 2,000, or maybe even 2 miles down the road.
Okay.
15, like
Yeah, probably about the 6 mile
elevation.
mark,
It's
yeah.
probably 2,000 feet in elevation.
Yeah.
And
It's in the trees.
yeah, it was cool, but I was wearing layers, like a vest and a jacket and a thermal.
And you were comfortable.
And I was comfortable because the
Yeah.
wind was it was like a warmish wind kind of coming up from the valley.
Yep. Plus, you were in the trees, so you had a little bit more blockage.
No, there's no trees up there.
No, there's not.
No. And then on the second half of the day, I was down in Signal Corps, which is even farther down. That's just where the trees are starting to disappear.
Right.
It's a little bit warmer down there.
The problem with spectating the event, not the problem, the challenge with spectating the event is there's one road up, one road down. It's the same road.
Yes.
So you can't have access to other parts of the mountain via vehicle once the event has started.
No.
So if you want to drive and spectate from somewhere other than the starting line, your two options are drive to the summit prior to the event starting,
Which they open for people, and you can pay.
Yep, yeah, you can pay the regular fee for driving up the road.
And you can hike down.
And park at the summit, and you're there all day, so you're there for 8 to 10 hours, and you can hike down to wherever you want to watch. I mean, they have spectator areas. We didn't watch from a spectator area because we spectate a lot of rallies, and we've learned what's safe, where to go, how to be out of the way, and how not to get in trouble. So we found a pretty good spot that was not a designated spectator area.
Yeah.
But it was so windy that our plan was to hike down to the Cragway.
Yeah.
But it's like 1.5 mile or 2 mile hike.
Yeah, it's like an hour and a half hike.
Yeah, it's a pretty
in good weather.
in good weather. Yeah, and it was just the three of us. None of us are super experienced hikers. The two friends that I was with, because you went with the media bus. The two friends that I was with, none of us are super experienced hikers, and we decided that with those high winds, we didn't want to make that long trek, so we found someplace closer.
I did in 2014. It wasn't bad going down. It was bad coming up with
I'm sure.
a giant camera bag.
I mean, you're basically climbing the mountain at that point.
It's hard. It's a hard hike. I mean, people die on that mountain hiking all the time.
Yeah.
It's no joke. Like, you need to be prepared. So it was better to you can go up to the summit and kind of walk around. See, that's what throws you off, is that you can just drive to the top of this mountain. So everybody thinks, oh, it's just easy, whatever. You just drive to the top of it. But no, it's legit hard. And actually, a lot of people, it's like a 4.5, 5 hour hike from the bottom.
Yep.
And people will do that. And then the van drivers were telling us, a lot of times we just make a good amount of money just shuttling people down that have
Yeah, because
hiked up.
they charge you $30 a pop to drive back down the mountain.
Yeah, but
So you don't have to
you've
hike
gotten
back
to
down.
the top and you're like, I don't want to go back down.
No.
Take my money. Like,
Yeah, and I can understand why, because you're tired, you're beat up. You started at the bottom, and it's 80 degrees and sunny, so you're wearing shorts and a T-shirt.
Yeah.
And then by the time you get, like you said, past the tree line, it's 40 degrees with like 50-mile-an-hour wind, and it's not comfortable anymore.
there are
and
people coming up the Cragway, which is open, very windy, and they're pouring sweat
Yeah.
from hiking, because it was like
so they go
80
to
and
hypothermia.
humid. Yeah. And then you can see them suddenly just putting on clothes because they don't want to freeze. I was like, oof.
Yeah, we saw a few come through from the bottom because we were, again, where we spectated was pretty near the summit, and there were some people that came up that were up that far that were still dressed very summery or inappropriate for the conditions, but but they didn't seem bothered by it because they probably experienced hikers, and it is what it is. But
Yeah.
yeah, they don't close down the mountain for hikers during the day, just for cars driving up. Mm-hmm. Hold on, let me turn my phone off here.
Yeah.
The other option for watching the race is that the spectator options where you can take the spectator bus from the bottom to the spectator areas. You got to buy a ticket for that. The other option is hiking from somewhere.
Yeah.
So you can
Hike from the bottom to the
hike
top
from the bottom to the top
if you're good.
if you're a hiker. Yeah, if you're not a hiker, forget about it.
Yeah.
So, those are a few options you have to do it. Like I said, we like to drive to the top because the sight lines are better because there's no tree cover.
Exactly.
And I am not a hiker, so I'm not going to hike from the bottom to the top. So,
Well, to me, what makes that event is the scenery of seeing it from the top of the mountain. Because otherwise, you're down low in the tree line. It's just like a tarmac stage rally.
exactly. That's why I wanted to be up higher.
Yeah.
Like I said, different sight lines is different than being at,
It feels totally different.
yes, you don't feel like you're at a rally. You feel like you're at a hill climb.
Yeah. And the scenery is spectacular when it's clear, which it was.
It's ridiculous.
Because you can see into Maine. You can see over into Vermont. You can see
Clear over that mountain over there where Uncle Rico threw the football.
Yeah. You can see Wildcat, which is a ski area.
Yeah, it's cool because in the summertime you can see all the ski paths cut through the mountain doing Wildcat, which actually is where we parked, was at Wildcat because they had an overflow parking lot there.
Yes.
And then took one car to the summit.
Yep.
Andrews Gallant.
Yes. So some notable times. We had Pastrana in his Unlimited Class WRX.
It's a very notable time.
Yes. That is the record at 5:44.72.
They were saying that he crossed the finish line. And I don't know if you've seen videos of the finish line, but it's a right-hand turn uphill, right-hand uphill sweeper.
Yep.
That's, almost at the summit, and one side is a death fall in a four-wheel drift at about 137 miles an hour, which is ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, there is one section, I'm not sure what he hit. There's one straight section near the bottom they call quarter mile because it's
about a quarter mile.
About a quarter mile and it's straight. And that's where they run the speed trap. And I know from watching some other end cars, some of the lower end cars got up into the 130 range. So I'm not sure what that car got into. Which I was also told that the rally cars are geared lower, so they changed the gearing for these cars.
So they don't have a super high top end?
No, because you don't need it.
Right, you need all that torque to go up the mountain.
Yeah, they're limited to 130. Pastrana's time was, as we discussed earlier, 5:44.72.
Right, 20 seconds off the previous record.
Yes. Some other notable times. Indirect friend of the show, but we met him at Climb to the Clouds, was Bill Washburn in his Nissan 240 RS Maxi.
Which is a 240 SX.
Yes.
That's been pretty much, it's a 240 SX roof and door skins is about all that's left.
Yeah. Well, it's not, I mean, most of the unibody is there.
Yeah, it's a pretty crazy race car. It's probably, like you mentioned yesterday, it's probably the most well-developed 240 in at least the country, if not the world.
An early version of it was in Speed Hunters. But yeah, there's some close-up pictures of it. I'll have more pictures of it soon as I edit them. But anyway, his time, so this is a rear-wheel drive car. So
Yes.
with massive aero. His best was a 6:32.58. So 47 seconds off the record.
Off the unlimited class.
Yeah, so he was in open class.
Right, what makes the difference between unlimited and open? Because, I mean, that car is pretty well developed.
I'm actually not sure.
Okay, excellent. I don't know if it's a horsepower thing or
No, I don't think. I think it's
displacement or who knows.
and then
Somebody knows, but we don't know.
No. And then we had guest Alex Grabau was on. So the Mitsubishi, the Pleasure Evo, he was running an unlimited class. He ran a 6:52.8.
Which actually got him second in class, did it not?
Second in unlimited, yes.
Right, which was 8th overall.
Yes.
Which is pretty damn good
it is.
for a grassroots effort of a guy that not only built his car, but pretty much maintains that car as well.
Yes,
He doesn't
exactly.
have he's got like a crew of friends, not a crew
Exactly.
of paid crew,
So they are the cars that are kind of in between the Subaru cars and those cars that we mentioned, Bill's and Alex's. A bunch of guys came out from Colorado that run Pikes Peak and all the Colorado hill climbs.
Yep.
And they had some crazy, like, open-wheel chassis cars that are hill climb
Yeah,
cars.
full-on hill climb cars.
Yeah,
Like,
they're
not a unibody car.
Wells Coyotes.
There's a couple different ones. But
Yeah,
that's one of them.
different V8s.
They basically
turbos.
look. Some of them look like sprint cars
Yeah,
crossed with like 70s F1 cars
yeah.
because it's a sprint car style frame, but it's a rear engine V8 or some are V6 turbos, and
They're hill climb specials.
yeah, they're ridiculous and they're
Yeah.
awesome. And there are also some cars in those classes too that were like they look like, if you're familiar with short track dirt track racing,
Yeah,
like those super modifieds.
yeah.
There were a few cars that looked like super modifieds
Yeah.
too that ran out of the hill, which were pretty fun to watch.
And then our other guest, Vinny McMahon, and his co-driver Dan Downey, they're in the Rally 1 category with his Eagle Talon. So it's stock engine, completely stock, so 190 horsepower.
Yeah, so it's safety upgrades and suspension upgrades.
That's it,
Yeah.
if that. Well, yeah, he's got rally suspension in that.
Yes.
And he was on DOT R-Comps or whatever.
Yeah, he's on essentially street tires.
Yeah. So he ran a 7. So his first run was faster because he blew a power steering line towards the end of the first run, I believe. So he ran a 7:46.71. So that's 2 minutes off the pace, which is pretty good for a
2 minutes off the pace of the unlimited $2 million Subarus.
Yeah.
With his Eagle Talon that he bought off Craigslist for probably $2,000 and has probably another 5 into.
Yeah.
I'm spouting numbers off that I don't know, but I mean, it's a very budget built car.
Well, if you go back to the episode, you can listen to it.
Yeah, and that's the car that, we deemed him our hero that week because
Oh, he drove it to the event.
he built
this
that
weekend.
car and he drove it to Rally Pierce Neige in Canada from here in Peabody, Massachusetts, rallied it all weekend,
Yeah.
turned around, and drove it back to Peabody again. Not only did he do that then, but now he also did that, as you just said, for this event. And he
Yes.
must have been the only car there that was driven to the event.
I think so.
I mean, and his
Everything
time,
else seemed to show up in the trailer. So
his time was not. He was like mid-pack. He wasn't the slowest. Obviously, he's not going to be the fastest.
No.
He put down a damn respectable time. And, I mean, a 7:46 in the 90s when they ran this event before
yeah,
would have been a top-level car.
yeah,
Like, that's a ridiculous. That's really fast. And my hats are off to him for that effort because
right.
not only was he running street tires, he was running a 205 street tire. It wasn't even a big street tire.
Nope.
So, I mean, that's impressive.
So
Congrats to Vinnie McMahon and his co-driver.
the other thing
Also
too,
friend of the show, Dan Downey.
It was an eclectic mix of automobiles at this event, right?
Yeah, it was awesome. Way better than a rally.
Yeah, because it was like, it wasn't just like Subaru, rear-wheel drive BMW. Subaru,
You know what's funny
Saab.
was when the first Subaru came through because they ran them for the first. They ran them slow cars first.
Yeah, they
So
did
the
reverse
first
order.
Yeah, so the first cars that came through with some of the vintage, 50s,
Which that
60s stuff,
Sunbeam
which were
Rapier.
awesome. Sunbeam Rapier was an amazing looking car.
Yeah.
I don't know what the open wheel car was.
It's like it was like a McRae something.
It was some special built back in the 50s. It wasn't super fast.
Yeah.
It kind of looked like an Allard crossed with like a.
Oh, I'm thinking of a different car. I don't think it actually ran during race day. There was an
Okay.
open wheel car that looked like like a 70s F1 car. And it was like a McRae something.
Oh, okay.
And it's dumb because I can go 20 feet and I have the entry list in the trunk of the car. But
But yeah, I'm not pausing the show again.
yeah,
I don't know what kind of car the open wheel car was, but it was a 4-cylinder carbureted, so top of the hill was going pretty slow, but it was cool to watch.
what's that tan car that's been at the Mistlewood Concourse Sale? It's open wheel car because that's Run Climb with the Clouds.
I'm going to have to look back into that. I don't remember. Was it an HRG?
It's the car that is the logo
Of
the sticker.
Of the Mistlewood show.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know what car you're talking of,
Yeah.
but it's not like a Ford, so I don't
No.
remember exactly what it is, unfortunately.
No. Oh, so good here tonight.
Crap. Yeah, he runs Lime Rock Historics, too, with that
Yeah,
car.
I've seen it there, and then I saw it at Climb the Clouds. It was definitely there in 2011. I don't know if it's run since, but it was
Yeah,
kinda neat.
I don't remember. I forget, what was my point there? I was going on with the reverse order. Oh, yeah. So we went in reverse order. So
Yep.
some of the older, slower cars went first, and then the first Subaru came through, and I turned to Joe and Adam, and I'd said, hey, well, here comes the parade of Subarus, because, I'm used to go to a rally where
Yeah.
once you get the Subarus coming through, it's just Subaru. But it wasn't, because it was a Subaru, and then it was immediately followed by, like, a Scirocco,
Yeah.
which is pretty
There was
awesome.
actually a couple. There was a Gen 1 Scirocco
Yes, and a Corrado was
and a
there.
Corrado
Yep.
that was like meanly fast.
Not only was the Corrado meanly fast, but they took the time to take the Volkswagen emblem out of the back of a Volkswagen Rabbit Caddy pickup truck
Oh, really?
from the tailgate, and they grafted it into the rear panel below the hatch.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
It was so cool. It was a lot of weird like show car style bodywork for a race car. I wonder if it used to be a show car. Maybe
yeah, maybe.
it was definitely pretty cool.
There's a couple Golfs, some
They were
Subarus,
Golfs.
a couple very nice, well prepped Subarus.
The Mark II GTI, the white one, the turbocharged one. That car was amazingly clean.
Yep.
Amazingly clean.
There's a Fox body.
Yes, there was a Fox body. There was also a newer body style Mustang,
Yeah.
like a 2015-ish body style. That was a
I think it was a V6
V6 full interior racing out the mountain.
with just a roll cage.
Yeah, it was kind of cool, actually. Let's talk about a pretty budget build. That was about as budget as it gets. So
Yeah.
that was kind of cool. My personal favorites were, anybody that knows me knows the older cars. So it was the Toyota Starlet,
Yes.
which I'm going to butcher his name, so I'm not even going to attempt it. I'll have to look it up, and we'll put a link to it, because he's from Finland. Lives in the States now, but
Yeah.
he built the car in Finland originally, and he's
In
also run
2000, yeah.
yeah, he also run the car at Pikes Peak. But that's a 4AGE powered Toyota Starlet, which is
Yes.
just completely ridiculous. That and the Opel Manta with box flares.
Yes.
That was
That's a
an
good
amazing
one.
Car, yeah.
The Datsun 510 was sweet.
The 510 was really clean. Had no back window, which kind of bothered me.
Yeah.
Just
There was a
crazy.
bunch of cool stuff.
There was a 240, the Datsun 240 that unfortunately rolled on practice day on Saturday.
That was Friday. Didn't even make it.
Was it Friday?
Yeah. No, so much cool stuff.
Yeah, if you're a fan of cars in general, you have to get out to this event. I mean, there was even a Toyota Yaris rally car that was set up for the mountain. It was entertaining to watch because they're lifting the inside rear tire on every turn.
Yep. So I've got a minute since I was shooting photos on Friday during practice. They were doing the bottom half. We were right before the flying finish in Signal Corps. So I've got about a minute worth of audio of some select cars. So we're going to go through. It'll be Pastrana, Higgins, Wells Coyote. That's one of those open wheel cars.
Correct.
It's got a V8. There were Fiat Abarth.
Yeah, the Fiatas there. They were
They're 124s?
Fiat Roadsters or Spiders, whatever they're calling them.
I thought they were 124s.
Yeah, but maybe 124s.
Yeah.
But they're basically Mazda Miatas that
with the more powerful
turbo four-cylinder.
Yeah, the more powerful engine.
Yeah,
apparently these
call them Fiatas.
Yeah, apparently these were over 300 horsepower.
They were fast.
They're very fast.
They were fast.
They're as fast as the 240 RS.
One of them broke, unfortunately, but they were fast.
So then it's the Fiat, and then you can hear Alex's Evo. Then I've got the 240 RS Maxi, and then you can hear, the wreck I saw. Savage Dave Wallingford wrecked his Fiesta in Signal Corps.
Yes, he rolled it over almost into you, actually.
Yes, he traction rolled it. So it was it's like an S-curve uphill, and the thing just caught too much grip, too stiff, and it just went right over. And there's a bunch of really cool pictures of...
because it was a spectator corner. The Signal Corps is a spectator area, so everybody saw it.
Yeah, so there's a couple composites by Nemesis Photo, EMPO. I think I pronounced that correctly.
Yep.
And Sean Pierce Photography. They've got different angles, and then the other day they combined the two of them.
Yeah, for one long shot. That was really cool.
Well, they put them on top and bottom, so they're like the front, like forward and reverse of it. So that was really cool. And then of course there's mine is like straight on coming at me. So
right, it's blurry because you physically had to move out of the way.
Yes. And then I've got the Starlet, which had the 4AG that was revving to 11,000.
11,000 RPM, and it has a straight cut dog box, so he's just banging gears with no time in between.
I almost hit the wrong play button.
Yeah.
So here I'll hit it. So this is the Subaru cars. They both sound identical.
Yep.
Little wastegate shutter.
I mean, the cars are identical.
Yeah. Need a little V8 action.
The Fiat Abarth 124.
Yeah.
The Pleasure Evo.
Yeah, which has got equal headers. So it doesn't have that normal 4G60 bark. This is the 240 RS Maxi. This is Savage Dave. Oops. Yeah. This is the Starlet. Nicely enough one car.
Yeah, you can hear that straight cut box as he drives away. It's pretty amazing. Just banging gears at 11,000 RPM. So it's like a motorcycle.
All right, so let's get some listener questions because
so basically that's our taste of the Mount Washington Hill Climb.
Yep.
If you've never been, make it a point to go in 2020. I mean, the fact that just that audio to me is like, hair raising. It sounds so cool.
Oh, you could hear that Starlet going up the entire mountain.
Oh, 100%. You could hear the Pleasure Evo going up pretty high too. Actually, that's pretty loud too. But just the fact that audio, just the audio alone, brings me back to being there a few days ago, and it's a pretty good take.
I think because it's not a racetrack and there's no neighbors because it's a national park.
Right.
I don't think there's any sound restrictions.
There's no way there was sound restrictions.
No.
Most of those cars would have blown every racetrack sound restriction out of the water.
So that's cool. All right. So
it is listener question week, as you mentioned.
Yes. So I'll do the first one. So Dan Downey asks, what's your favorite non-Mitsubishi at Climb to the Clouds?
What is yours?
Well, clearly it's the Starlet.
Yeah. I'll have to go with that, too.
Yeah.
Easy answer.
Because not only did it sound amazing, like when you get up close to the car, it is an immaculate build of a race car.
The the guy who built it was super nice.
Yeah.
And he was just, anybody who was asking questions, he would take the time to explain every little thing about the car to them. So he's a genuinely cool guy.
I believe he's VHT Racing on Instagram.
Something like that.
Something like that. And then he asked, has my heart rate gone down since he was nearly part of a Fiesta? And yeah, it wouldn't have been a party. So
No,
but,
it would not have been.
And then he also asked, where do you plan to watch at NEFR? That's top secret.
It's not top secret. It's just we don't even really know yet.
Yeah.
Yes, VHT Racing is the correct. Yeah, Miko Kataja.
Yes.
Is his name, if I'm getting it correctly or not. There's some amazing videos of him on YouTube from Pikes Peak and from some European events.
All right.
The newer stuff to watch of him is with the 4AG.
Yep. I'm sure he'll have videos soon of Climb to the Clouds.
Oh, 100%.
But I think he has a long drive back to Michigan, so before he posts stuff. And I'll keep an eye out for it when I see it posted.
I assume that it's Wednesday now. He's probably back in Michigan by now.
Yeah, but, it takes a while to upload stuff. Anyway, all right. So next question, we've got Arizona Castro. He said, did you get to check out MOD West Coast 2017 pics? And he said someone brought a real dry boxy Lancer. So we were busy at Climb the Clouds.
Yep.
We had a bunch of friends that went to the West Coast.
MOD, for those not in the Mitsubishi community, is the Mitsubishi Owners Day. And the West Coast is the one in Cypress, California at Mitsubishi USA's headquarters.
Yep. So we talked about it previously. A bunch of Montero owners made the journey from Arizona and a couple down from Canada. And there's a huge Montero representation at MOD West, along with, a bunch of other awesome cars.
Including that rear-wheel drive box Lancer.
Yeah, which I believe was on Petrolicious.
There was a feature article on that car on Petrolicious. A box Lancer is I think 82 to 87. I'm not going to say a definite quote on those years. Mitsubishi Lancer, it was basically a box. It's kind of like a more angular Volvo 240 style, I guess you could call it. Mm-hmm. And they were rear-wheel drive, and they were actually the first car that was produced with the 4G63. They had a 4G63 single cam in the first years they came out. So they never sold them here for some reason because they're amazing cars. I will own one day. Said it before, say it again. Won't stop saying it until I do it. But the European ones have a 2-liter turbo, and the Japanese market ones have a 1.6 or a 1.8 turbo. And they also are a ton of lower-level models that are not turbocharged as well, which any of them I'll be happy with.
All right. Why don't you do the next one?
Bobby Martin.
He's a new listener?
He is a new question asker.
Yeah.
Did you guys get involved at all in the VW buyback? I'm curious about your thoughts on the whole thing. Love the show. Thanks, Bobby. I'm glad you found us. Where'd you find us? If you let us know, if you could. Kind of cool. Kind of like to find out where that happened from.
We did. I did not, and I know Brad did not.
I had a VW at the time.
I had a family member who was involved in it.
Okay. Yep.
I know that he made out quite well. In fact, he parked the car and was able to buy a new car.
Yep.
And then eventually basically drove the car for free for 2 or 3 years with the amount of the buyback he got back.
I shouldn't say I was not 100% uninvolved in the VW buyback.
Oh, okay.
Because I sold a car to a guy who had gotten the money to buy a fun car only because he had gotten involved in the VW buyback and got the money for his diesel Volkswagen to buy the Honda Accord, the 79 Accord that I was selling. So I got a little bit involved. My thoughts on it? It is what it is. I mean, they had to do it something because they got caught cheating.
Yeah, I mean, in the end, I guess it would have been a lot cheaper to just do the formal engineering and make the cars pass the way they should have.
Oh, 100%. But they also didn't think they were ever going to get caught. And it's come out since then that there's a lot of other little cheats that other manufacturers have done that would probably,
which
get them in the same trouble.
I kind of always respect that stuff when, there's blatant cheating and then there's, brilliant cheating.
Yeah, well, if you want to learn about brilliant cheating, you can read Mark Donohue's book, The Unfair Advantage, where he talks about a lot of different cheats they did over the years.
Yeah, that's just
in racing.
You're just searching through the rules, all the loopholes.
Yeah, all the Smokey Eunuch stuff in the 60s in NASCAR. They had limits on how much fuel they could put in the car, but they didn't have limits. They had limits in the size of the gas tank, but they didn't have limits in the size of the fuel lines.
And the filler neck.
So they would get bigger wider filler neck and bigger, diameter fuel lines and get more gas than the next guy and be able to go further.
Yeah.
So that's not, it is what it is. It's skirting the rules. It's, being smarter than the guy next to you. That's how I win Monopoly.
Yeah. It's
What the hell's the difference?
Like the Toyota Wastegate thing in the 90s.
Oh, and the all-track rally cars?
Yeah.
Yep.
It's almost like so brilliant. You're like, are they really cheating? Because there's so much engineering into that.
Yeah, it took a lot of work to do that cheat. It's not like they stole something from somebody.
No. All right. Joe Stanley asks, what kind of tools and gears do you guys keep in your cars for roadside repairs? And after a recent incident in the Mojave Desert, I was lucky to have a window breaker on me that saved my ass, and it got me thinking about what should I put together for an emergency roadside kit.
Do you know what his incident was in the Mojave?
Oh, you didn't see it? So
No.
I believe his fender liner came loose.
I saw that.
Yeah, that's what it was. And
So he had to bust a window out then. He just used that tool for...
Because it has a
non-intended purpose.
a seatbelt cutter on it. He probably cut the plastic that was stuck. Because it came loose and was dragging and making a horrible noise.
Oh, okay, I did see that. I didn't put the correlation together with the window smasher.
Yeah.
So what do you put in your cars?
Oh, I keep... I've got this gear wrench socket set that has... it's got pass-throughs to it, so you don't need to have two size sockets.
Right.
And obviously I have metric because I have metric cars.
Yep.
So you can... It's got all the metric sockets you need, and then you don't need extensions because you can go right over the bolts. That came in handy when we switched the alternator.
I was going to say that one saved my ass in North Carolina.
Yep. Actually, I haven't had to use it since, but I keep it anyways.
Well, thank you for having that then.
I keep zip ties. I keep side cutters, some pliers. I bought
electrical tape,
duct tape because you can duct tape radiators.
Yep.
Or other things. I won't go down that road.
What else did you duct tape?
Nothing.
Oh, I get you. Bad jokes on the auto.
Terrible jokes.
Hour. You can tell we're recording late when the jokes get bad.
What else do I keep in there? Oh, I just some. You go to Home Depot, get some Husky metric wrenches.
Yeah, that's what I have in every one of my cars. I didn't even buy the Husky ones. I went to Harbor Freight.
Oh, same difference.
Yeah, they're $9 for the small set of wrenches.
I have a little pouch of box wrenches and a screwdriver, some Phillips head screwdrivers.
I went there. They had one of their big sales where it was, I think it's a 10-piece wrench set, and they were $9. So I bought one for each car just to put in the glove box.
Put it this way: I had enough stuff with me that we were able to fix the steering alternator.
Yep.
And then last summer we were able to replace the fuel pump in the Montero on the side of the road.
That's right too. I forgot we did that.
So it was all basic hand tools.
Yeah, we're not doing motor swaps on the side of the road.
No,
but we can get ourselves home usually.
I didn't have crimpers, so I just used the pliers I had
to get them as tight as possible
to crimp the butt connectors for that fuel pump. So,
and then wrapped them electrical tape and called it a day.
Yeah, exactly. So
you got home and had proper tools to fix it right.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, my toolkit has changed a little bit over the years. I have, like I said, the basic set of wrenches in each and every car, just to have them, because you can get out of most roadside jams with those.
See, I keep it in a bag and I just switch between cars.
I just drive to too many different cars, too many different times, and it's usually because another one broke. So there is so cheap I put them in each car. But I do have just like a 200-piece Boss Stitch toolkit that I keep moved from car to car, and that usually saves me pretty well. It's just like,
Oh, and then I keep an unopened bottle of brake fluid with the seal on it so it doesn't leak.
Yeah, ruin the paint in the car.
Yeah. Well, I also have a plastic container I keep fluids in. So I keep the oil that I need for the car, a jug of coolant, and brake fluid. Which brake fluid helped your dad one day. We were going to a car show, and all of a sudden he had no brake pedal for some reason.
I had that in the Camaro, too. You weren't there, unfortunately, but I was pulling into the cruise night on Wednesday night, and all of a sudden my brake pedal went away. Yeah. I was like, where did my brake pedal go? And I had no fluid. And no leaks either. It was just... There must be a leak somewhere.
In the drums or something.
Yeah.
Anyway. Next question.
Joe Osborne. Not sure if you've done anything on dash cams yet. I need to start listening to these things. Catch up listening to these things. Any recommendations? I don't have any.
I think, if you've already got a GoPro, I believe you can run them in loop mode, and they'll act as a dash cam.
Oh, really?
especially if you've already got one, I wouldn't go buy a specific dash cam because
I don't.
GoPros are just so good.
I don't have a dash cam, so I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, Joe.
I don't know. Some people are into running them. I don't. It's like.
I mean, I wish I had it sometime to like catch somebody doing something stupid and just show everybody in the world how stupid that person is.
Yeah, it's true. But
I don't have it. So
it's kind of like a radar detector.
I
Like,
also know if I had one, I'd be pissed off every time something happened and I wasn't driving the car that had the dash cam in it.
yeah. Like sometimes I wish I had a radar detector, and sometimes I'm like, it's just so much work to have it. Like, I don't know. Do they really work? Is there?
Probably. I mean, I wouldn't know what goes on in Russia if it wasn't for dash cams.
No, I meant like radar detectors.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
All right. David Dennis, who was a driver at Climb the Clouds.
He was in the
Dodge
Dodge Dart.
Yes.
Unfortunately, he had a breakdown on the first pass of the day.
But I do have a couple cool pictures of that I'll get posted. Anyway, so our question image, you probably saw this if you were asking questions. It was of a couple pink flamingos. They were in the paddock area.
Were those the ones that get brought to NEFR for the Flamingo Bowling?
No, that's usually out west. I don't know if anybody's going to bring those.
Oh,
they need to
okay.
make it out this way. People, there's like this crazy setup the West Coast people have where the flamingos are on hinges, and they put them on the outside of like a hairpin, so the car comes in and throws like a dirt rooster tail over them.
Tries to knock them all over.
You know, a little gravel machine gun action, tries to shoot the flamingos over. And then you can set them back up, so they call it flamingo bowling.
Right, but somebody brought a couple of flamingos to the paddock at Climb to the Clouds.
And he wants to know what flavor race fuel they like the best.
Yeah,
I would say either 100 or 110.
yeah. I like that.
Is it C16?
Joe Osborne answered him, and he said it's that red-colored fuel you use for lawn equipment that you can buy at Home Depot. It's how they get the distinctive pink color.
That works. All right, want to do the Instagram questions?
Yes. KP Kelsey 6 tells us that the lifted Subaru Wave came from Australia. The trend is growing by the minute. I assume he's referring to our friend Joe's lifted Subaru Forester.
Yeah.
I don't remember talking about it otherwise. Maybe we did, and I'm just a dummy. But thank you, KP Kelsey, for sending us from Australia the Subaru. If you're from there, I don't know if you're from there, but we like that trend. You know, it's better than the other trend of the sex spec show cars.
It's better than making your Subaru useless by slamming it to the ground.
Yes, that's true.
I'd rather see all the lifted Subarus in the world.
Which, are you familiar with sex spec?
What is sex spec?
It's the Australian term for like a show car. Like an old car
like that
on like
sex?
22-inch wheels, like useless to actually drive. They call them sex spec.
Oh, because people go, that's sex.
Yeah, well, that's sexy. That's sex. Yeah.
all right.
If you're familiar with YouTube channel Mighty Car Mods, they're from Australia. They have a Mirage that they bought that was a sex spec build that they turned into an actual race car.
Oh,
But the vanity plate on the car was the number 2 and then sexy. And they've kept it on the car ever since, and they call it Too Sexy.
nice.
So,
All right, so Rally Sideways asks, this is for me, how was witnessing Wallingford's crash from so close? You almost got squished.
yep, you did.
Yeah, it was pretty wild. It was like you come through the Signal Corps, and you're like, oh, he's up on two wheels, because it's not uncommon for a Fiesta to get a little two-wheel.
No, because they're narrow and tall.
And you're like, all right, he's going on two wheels. Oh, wait, he's gone too far.
Yeah.
Oh, and now he's on the door. Oh, and he's heading towards me.
He's on no wheels.
So, and then I kind of like moved. Like I realized it wasn't directly coming at me, so I just kind of moved out of the way.
But you were also probably watching it through the lens of a camera.
Yeah.
So you didn't exactly have the correct perspective.
Well, I pulled the camera away and just kind of pointed at it and still held the shutter button.
Yeah, which props to you for holding the shutter button down because you got some good shots.
Yeah. And then it was a little freaky because like I was standing there trying to process what just happened, and the woman there's a woman sitting directly behind me, but she worked for the mountain. She was one of the van drivers.
Okay.
She jumped out of the way and like cut her leg. On the rocks are really sharp up there.
Yeah, they're very sharp up there.
And then like all of a sudden I turn and everybody's running towards me because the car is behind me.
How did that happen?
And I was like, what's going on? But people were running to make sure they were okay. And
Right.
Then as soon as you're like, because it was such a slow roll, you're like, they're probably okay. And then, of course, they're like, you can hear them inside. They're like, yeah, we're okay. But they can't get the door open, so they wanted to roll the car.
Okay.
And, of course, there was some chaos with, like, throwing the red flag. And I remember like telling one of the workers, I was like, "No, you can't stand right there. You need to go down the corner." And you can
Was
see him
that
in
the guy
video.
in the video with the brown jacket?
No, you
Oh.
can see him in the video. I'm pointing at the woman, like, you need to take the red flag that you're trying to wave and wave it
Like
where,
before the turn.
yeah, where a car can see you.
Yeah. I know in the same video, there's a guy in a brown, like an older guy in a brown
Oh, he's
jacket.
moseying up the road.
He's just like walking in
And
the
we're-
road. You're like,
we're-
the cars are still alive.
We're all yelling at him because there's a car coming, and he's just like moseying up the road. Yeah, it's a little chaotic sometimes because these are just volunteers. They don't sometimes.
Yeah, they're not trained.
Some of them don't understand how dangerous motorsport is. It's a little freaky sometimes, but
What was that a Russian friend said?
oh yeah. So I always remember that. So the guy Ivan, he would run the Rally New York stuff. He came up to me one day when I was at a rally, and I was I thought I was high enough up on this hill out of the way, and he goes, "You, that spot is no good. Car is like bullet; it will kill you." And I went, "Oh, okay." So whenever I think about where I'm going to stand,
You think of Ivan. So thank you, Ivan.
yeah, car is like bullet.
Despite Andrew's bad copy of your accent, he really respects what you said to him that day.
Car is like bullet; it will
It
kill
will
you.
kill you.
So, all right. And
Adventure-driven design.
this one's kind of for me too.
Yep.
So, our buddy, someone we know there at Climb to the Clouds had a Piero Evo.
Yes, he'll remain nameless because it's not really a known thing that he has the vehicle because it's, it's a thing.
Whatever, it exists.
Yeah, it exists.
So, I ended up going for a recce run up the mountain in it.
Which makes me insanely jealous.
But I didn't get to drive it. I just sat in
It
the back of
doesn't
it.
matter. It's just being in the presence of a Piero Evo made me a happy person.
So it was basically, it was weird because I was sitting in it, and because I have a second gen now, it's a second gen vehicle. So you're looking underneath it. These things are body on frame. They're short wheelbase, but the rear axle it's independent suspension.
Like your truck is?
Like no,
Your truck solid axle?
in the rear,
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
yeah. But it's basically you can see where the development came from to create the third generation truck,
The third gen ones are independent rear.
and they're unibody,
Okay.
independent front and rear.
They're unibody in third gens?
Yep.
I didn't know that.
Yes. But yeah, so it's kind of a wild truck. And then the front of it is still the torsion bar. I don't think it's coilovers. It's got the 3.5. I don't think it's a 3.8. I think it's a 3.5 dual cam with MyVec.
Oh, so it's an early version of MyVec then.
Well, it's the version of MyVec that the rest of the world got way before we got.
Yeah, because we didn't get it until the 2000s.
Yeah. And it was kind of neat. So, like, he was showing us as you're going, we're going downhill, so you got to use engine braking because it's just like a really steep hill. So he's in low gear, and then if you brought the revs up to like 3,700, you could actually hear the cams change over. Like it was a noticeable change in audio, and it was like, and then like you like lost engine braking as you went into MyVec.
Oh, that's weird. You
Yeah.
remember that happening when you had your VTEC Civic?
I don't remember engine braking in VTEC.
Yeah.
Down in
'cause
Washington,
it's
yeah.
so high, yeah.
Yeah, he was just kind of playing with it. So
Interesting. Yeah, I'm jealous you got to ride in it, even if you didn't get to drive it. I just like, I love that thing so much.
it's a neat vehicle. It's not like really good at any one thing.
No, it's just cool.
It's just unique.
yeah, I want it.
Yeah. And you can kind of see where it's basically a box flare 2.5 with extra flares on it.
Yeah, it's your truck, but wider and shorter.
Yeah. It's a homologation special.
It's amazing.
The front doors are the same. The rear door is the same. Dash
and of course,
same.
it's right-hand drive and from Japan.
Yeah.
So it has that weird, like extra mirror on the
Yellow
left
fender
fender.
mirror. And it had Recaros. So that's cool.
It did have Recaros, yep. It
All
had
right. And then
everything awesome.
So Adventure Driven 9 has another question. It says, do you think there will be as many Monteros at MOD East as there were at MOD West? We've been seeing rumblings of getting a big crowd together and possible wheeling afterward.
I don't think it'll be as big of a crowd.
No.
I know it will be a good-sized crowd. I know of like 6 or 7 that are planning on going, but not
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I know.
but there were like 20 of them at MOD West.
Yeah, it'd be a tough weekend for us, unfortunately, to go this year.
Yep.
We'll see how it goes.
Well, like I said before, that's my daughter's birthday weekend,
Mm-hmm.
so chances are pretty good I'm not going to go.
Yeah,
About time.
I might be able to go. I'll see.
Yeah, if we go and come back that day, so I can be around the Sunday for the birthday, we'll see. But no promises.
I'd have to pick between that and driving to the shootout. It's roughly the same amount of hours.
Yeah, I could definitely not do the shootout. So
Yeah, so we'll have to see.
actually, maybe one of us should the shootout. One of us should do that, and then we'll have double the coverage.
Maybe.
Anyway, like I said, I probably can't do it anyway. So
All right, so you want to do the next one?
Throttle by Cable. This question is, I'm actually proud of this question
Yeah.
because, you know, when we started this podcast, it was because we listened to other podcasts and they inspired us. And Throttle by Cable has asked this question on other podcasts that I
really?
like and aspire to be. So thank you, Throttle by Cable, for asking this question and, you know, legitimizing our little stupid two-man show here in Andrew's basement. Throttle by Cable says, the popularity of the auto off-topic has grown bigly. A manufacturer approaches you to create a new rally car. What would you have them build? Which manufacturer? WRC or Dakar? It doesn't have to be a small two-door hatch, but it does need to be something that isn't being raced right now.
Okay.
So that's a complicated
I
question.
read this earlier so I could think about it.
Okay. I had a busy day, so I did not get to preview the question, so I'll let you go first and I'll
Okay.
think about it.
So I was going to say, so my Mitsubishi answer, because that's what everybody expects, will be
Of course.
An Outlander Sport, like the Toyota RAV4,
Or an ASX, depending on what part of the world you're
Yep.
listening in.
front-wheel drive, manual.
Okay.
That'd be a cool car. I mean, it's like a Fiesta-sized car.
A little bigger than a
Yeah.
Fiesta. It's like a Focus-sized car, I'd say.
Okay. But it'd be like the Toyota RAV4 that Millen is running.
Is it two-wheel drive?
It might be two-wheel drive.
I think
can't
this is a
remember.
four-wheel drive with a CVT.
Oh, that's right. It is.
Yeah. Which I would not want.
Regardless.
I mean, what? If you're going to let me rally, I rally anything. I take that for sure.
I mean, they're gonna have to start rallying CUVs because that's one of the most popular
yeah.
versions of a vehicle that you can buy today is a CUV, right?
So maybe we should be doing a build on a new Eclipse
right.
Cross.
So maybe you do maybe that. So maybe you do the Outlander as a Dakar build, and then I would
Do a retro livery to match the old
maybe.
the Pajero Evolution that ran in Dakar.
Yeah. So then the non-Mitsubishi answer as far as rallying would be I guess a Civic Type R.
Yuck.
I don't know. What else would you do with it?
I don't know.
I was trying to think of a car that's not currently being rallied or really raced.
Well, it's a small front-wheel drive car. Toyota IM, the Mazda 2 based Toyota.
I think, no, there was one at SCPR.
Okay, well, I wasn't there, so I didn't
Yeah.
know that existed.
Yeah.
So never mind.
I was trying to think. I couldn't think of anything else right now.
Oh, anything from Hyundai or Kia or something small. And I know it doesn't have to be a small car, but they'd lend themselves better to rally. I can't come up with a better Mitsubishi answer than what you had
No.
because they already race a Lancer.
Is there anything rear-wheel drive right now other than a BRZ or an FRS?
Nothing they'd want to race.
Really?
I don't think so. I mean, there's, Camaros, Mustangs, Chargers, but those are not rally cars by any means.
Maybe
was.
maybe a Mustang?
Maybe. Or an Alfa Romeo. Julia sedan.
Ooh.
That'd be a cool rally car.
Ooh, with the throwback
Martini livery.
the Martini or is it the Pro Tipi? It was Italian colors. Is it Pro Tipi?
Yeah, Pro Deep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Or the red Martini colors, like a Lancia.
I like that too.
All right.
So yeah, so an Alfa Romeo Giulia.
Yeah.
I would never finish an event,
Or
but I would sound good and look good trying.
if you did it with like the red with like the white triangle on the hood.
Yeah, with the little snake graphic there, like the old
Yeah.
Alfa.
All right.
So that's where I'm going with.
Okay.
I don't have a better Mitsubishi answer because I think what you said is right. The Outback. I'm sorry, the Outback. The Outlander Sport.
Yeah.
Or ASX.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything else though.
Nah, not at the moment. New cars are kind of boring right now.
Yep. All right. So that finishes it for questions.
Yeah, I think it's going to tie us up for the evening as well. We're over an hour, I think.
Yep.
So, social media, you can find the podcast on Facebook at Auto Off Topic. You can find us on Instagram at Auto Off Topic Podcast. It's autoofftopic@gmail.com. Any questions, concerns, or suggestions?
Yeah. Complaints. whatever.
Find me personally at TSISS350. Or, as always, the podcast is brought to you by Vintage Imports of New England, which can be emailed at vintageimportsne@gmail.com, or find us at vintageimportsne.com. I just screwed that up completely. It's Brad at vintageimportsne.com, not a Gmail address. Sorry.
Okay. All right. And you can follow me at racetonanger.com. I hope to have an article up on Right Foot Down about Climb to the Clouds. I'm working on that currently. And I will get to editing some photos and posting those to Facebook and Auto Off Topic and Race to Anger. If you follow me on Instagram, you've seen some of the photos I've shared, some teasers. So as always, keep your cars analog.